enough to where you could have said he won that one.
Right.
The second round, he absolutely lost.
I thought they
lost.
I thought they judged it wrong.
Yeah, and I thought.
And they did it unanimous. It was unanimous, and it was 29 or 30-27.
One of the judges had it, or two of the judges had a 30-27.
And I thought, what are they looking at?
Yeah,
I don't see that one at all.
Wyman showed hard. He showed the ability to recover from that horrible body shot that almost finished him.
That was,
and then he come back and took it to him in the third round.
But I totally agree. I had it.
I thought Wyman.
The first and the third round went to Stout.
That's what I think.
And the second round went to Wyman.
Now you tell me which one was wrong.
I've got it backwards. First and third to Wyman.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Which one was more MMA?
Shot.
Which one is what you expect from MMA? That fight or Sylvia's?
Oh, look at that fight.
That's why I got
I'm just saying that's the expectation.
How about the first fight, though?
But that's the expectations that people are bringing to it,
Yeah,
and that's the reason they're coming to the table.
But in all fairness, that was the best fight.
That was the fight.
That's why they brought it to it. They were there to fight.
They both brought it.
You got to also talk about the Steve Cantwell-Louise Kane fight about an exciting fight. I've never seen two guys just beat the crap out of each other more and stay for all 3 rounds. That was the very first fight. They kept hitting each other, and it was amazing that what's his name, Cantwell survived. I mean, Kane definitely won that fight, but he really had a chance of losing it because he just couldn't knock the other guy out. And he hit him so many times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be his face.
I don't know. I just found the Wyman style thing to be way more entertaining.
It really was.
They matched up well.
Wyman was
Both guys
entertaining.
can kind of do it all.
Actually, Kane,
that's what made it cool.
He closed one. He did some really, really good stuff. Some very technical. Did some great stand up. I love the way he fought. I thought he fought a wonderful fight. I thought that was a good one.
I
totally agree with you.
Yeah, Cantwell took too many punches, but somehow he got better as he went too. Every round.
I think his conditioning was real good. I don't think he tired out.
Well, yeah, well, he also took a lot of
They
punches.
they fought it as if they were mad at each other, and that sort of represents a fight to me. You know, sit back and be casual about it, and we got all night.
Get pissed.
I like it. I like if it's pretty, if they can keep it pretty and actually fight.
Yeah, get
But
pissed.
if they're not fighting,
Well, they come in as a sprint, not as a. This is not a long distance slow race. This is a
person
sprint.
wants to hurt you, and if
Right.
you hurt him or he hurts you.
They come in. I expect a sprint out of this fight.
I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I want to win. So whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, wait a minute. Silva could have said that same thing.
Hey.
I want to win, whatever it takes.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he could have gotten there.
Hey, he can make $300 his next fight too.
Exactly.
He won't. He's the champ. He's got a contract. He's
That
going to
must
get
be
paid.
nice.
I think Silva should be more worried about winning than he is about babysitting his belt.
He's.
I mean, when you think about it, Tim
Well, no,
Silva
you just said something. That's what he did. He wanted to
babysat his
win,
belt and won.
and he was babysitting his belt. He did both.
Exactly.
all Tim Silva
He
did
should be
was
more
babysit his
interested.
belt.
So shouldn't he have gone to the ground with the other guy? Is that what we're
I think he
saying?
just needs to be aggressive, get out there and beat the crap
I
out of
thought he
him.
should.
So when the other guy laid on his back like a turtle, should he have gone after him?
No, but he didn't really
No,
know what he was
I think he
thinking.
should have stepped back and made the guy get right back up and don't sit there and kick him in the leg and
Yeah, he
stall.
shot him in the.
He just sat there and did the same thing over and over again. He stalled. So
So
Sylvia stalled.
Right.
That guy was gonna. And then, now, hold on. As a referee, and I've done a decent amount of refereeing and everything else, is they have a rule that says if you don't pick it up, if you don't engage, they can call the fight. And they should have been warning the guy. I thought there should have been some warnings on that guy. Said if you don't engage, if you go down one more time like that without it being injured or being knocked down, or counted as a knockdown, and then end the fight, and just say, hey, look, if you can't defend yourself and everything else, the fight's over.
I blame the other guy.
I think the referee did a bad job on that thing there. I think there should have been more engagement and more threats of engagement. Everybody else is that the guy needs to fight.
If something like that had happened and the guy would have stayed, I think, and continued to fight standing up, I think you guys wouldn't be complaining about what Silva would have done.
Because he jumped on the ground about 3 or 4 times. He jumped on the ground.
That's the whole thing. He didn't go after him.
If he just stood it all in front of Silva, or even ran to stay on his feet, I think Silva would have knocked him out.
Right, but that is not allowed, as by the rules and everything else, is you cannot just jump on the ground to get away from the guy. And then, but Sylvia blew it by standing there kicking the guy like an idiot. And then he started playing with his toes and everything else, which I thought was very funny and very interesting.
He was working that ankle, though, man. I mean, he was beating on that ankle. That was pretty brutal.
But he was also demonstrating, I can do anything I want with you. Good, then do anything you want with him and knock him out. Finish the damn fight. He really can do anything you want. They control the fight and knock the son of a bitch out.
But I put it on both of them. I mean,
Oh, I do. I think it's both their fault. The other guy there, but somebody should have made that guy engaged. I didn't hear one thing saying this. The referee should have got more involved. I would have been, as a referee. I guarantee you, I would have been on the guy and talking to him. Said, do that again, we're going to stop the fight.
See, I'm not a big believer, maybe it comes from the boxing and the kickboxing background, that you don't really go look for the knockout so much and go after them, that you set them up, and when it's there, it's there. You know, and I think, you know, the only thing we have to complain about him is that he didn't go in there and try and knock the guy out, which puts yourself at risk to get knocked out too.
Always.
Right.
But I think at the beginning he was planning on knocking him out.
That's why they have decisions. It's not a fight until one guy gets beat, you know, and gets knocked out.
Right. Hey, let's talk about the Chuck Liddell Mauricio Hua fight. Which I thought
Oops.
it was an oops, but I actually enjoyed that fight a lot
I kind
because
of expected that, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
Chuck he always took a big shot in every fight. Even when he was in his heyday and winning
Down here.
constantly, he always took a big shot. You only get so many of those. And I think he's
he's
passed
done
that number.
taking those.
I think
yeah.
all of his offensive weapons are still there that he ever had. I think he's in good shape. He can still recover from a takedown, get back to his feet. All those are in place. He hasn't lost that. He can't take a big shot.
Well, he's only been knocked out
You
once.
can't learn to pick. You can't learn
But
to.
he's taking a hard shot.
Knocked out.
Wasn't that Mauricio's first win?
Rashad
in the
knocks
UFC?
him out. Everybody else has stopped the fight, but he's never. That's the only time he was knocked out cold. So he's been knocked out once in his whole career. So it's not like he's been beat up and beat up and beat up.
Well,
But
He's
you
been
only have,
knocked out once.
but you only have a certain
Twice
number.
now.
It doesn't, you don't know what your number is. Like Troy Aikman got 4 concussions and he's still halfway fucked up. Ron Jaworski is a commentator with 60 confirmed concussions, and they don't find any neurological imperfections in him when they do a CAT scan. It's genetics. One guy got it, one guy didn't. Liddell hasn't been knocked out a lot, but he's always taking a big shot in every fight, which means when he spars, he takes big shots from his partners there too. You can't tell me those guys just aren't able to hit him. They can hit him too. So he's taking a lot of cumulative big shots that didn't knock him out over the years, and I think he just ran out of free shots.
No, in fact, you're absolutely
My
right.
opinion.
It's actually, if you read Chuck Liddell's book, which I happen to have read, he talks about how he was freakish growing up because he would let the guy take the shots first. And so he took a lot of shots with his arms down by his side.
Yeah,
Like you said,
you ever heard what
take so
Howard
many
said?
of those.
Howard Davis, the boxer guy, came. He says, "Do you have any defense?" He says he had no defense whatsoever. He only had his offense, which is what
fighter.
we talk about. He's an offensive total. He said, but when he hit the pad, he says, "I thought he was going to tear my arm off."
Oh, yeah.
He said, but then when I
think all
talked
those
to him about
shoulders still
defense, he's like, "Oh, I don't do that."
And he keeps
And
his
he
hands
said,
so
keep your hands
low.
up. He said, we worked on keeping your hand up. I mean, it's like, keep your hands up. How is that?
He never had to because
Right.
he always was the guy like Andy says on
Right.
the playground. I could take a shot or whatever, you know.
Well,
Well,
literally, guys,
he
would
was
hit him
that
with a
guy.
board against the head. And let
He
him
had
beat him up.
fantastic timing, and he waited for that, and you couldn't see it down there, and it was just set up, and it was perfect. I mean, in the old days, that's where they kept their hands.
well, no,
All
I
the
don't mean
boxers
that. I'm just saying
kept
he
their hands
didn't worry
down
about
a little
if he
bit
got-
more.
He didn't
Right.
worry about if he got hit. Like who's the other kid that came out?
They're
for a
quicker
little
than
while?
Chuck too, though.
Cabbage Carrera. That kid was hot for like a flash, but just for a moment, you couldn't have knocked him out with a lead pipe.
Tank
Now,
Gabbett couldn't
he's
either. He
done.
couldn't knock out for a long time either.
But
Now
he just
he's-
used his head as his defense. Go ahead and beat on as long as you want. When you get tired, I'll beat you up. Man, I ain't trading my head that way.
That's what's up with Ken Shamrock too. His brain's just telling him lock down, lock it
He
down.
was a dinosaur.
He gets hit, lock it down, you know, and his brain is
Didn't evolve with the
He didn't involve at all.
but it's also his brain's conditioned to lights out now. I think you know he started getting a couple of them big hits. And
I'm interested to see Nagara's next fight to see if he's said.
I'm concerned about Nagara. I think he's done. As far as same reason. I think all of his offensive tools are there. His grappling's there. Too many big
he's
shots.
fighting Couture, isn't he? Coming up.
And I tell you what, I don't see that Forrest Griffin can take shots like he used to.
No.
And he took a lot of them in a short period of time. I just think people have a certain number, and then there's other people that can just kind of grind it out forever. We saw, you know, in boxing there were people that they boxed forever and they still didn't seem like they'd even been a boxer. And then other people, you know, had an amateur career and you can't understand them when they talk. You know, it's all genetics. I'm telling you.
Wasn't that Lua's first win in the UFC?
That I don't know. I'm so busy sometimes.
He's
I just
lost
catch up.
everything.
I think his
so.
first fight was against.
I thought he had
Well,
won
he beat
Griffin.
one
Coleman.
other.
He beat Coleman.
Yeah, I thought he had won
Oh, he
one
did get the
other.
win
Yeah, he
against
did beat Coleman. Yeah.
Okay.
If you call it that.
If you
But
call
yeah,
it
he
that.
won against Coleman.
But
But he hasn't had a dominating win at all. That was his first dominating win
Right.
since
But that's
the UFC.
That's kind of cool about the MMA, to go and have the fight that he had against Coleman. You'd think Liddell was just going to tear him all over the ring.
Yeah, because he was pretty out of breath. And
Conditioning
I think, you know,
this time he was in shape.
He looked like a different fighter to me. He was using
He's had
angles.
He's
had
had
some
some
conditioning
issues in fights before.
Big
I
time.
don't think he likes to train.
Yeah, he's not that old either.
Shogun? No, he's young as hell.
He's very young.
He was the youngest guy to win the fight thing here. He was 21 when he won his first thing. He's only about what, 27?
Yeah, well, I
26?
always thought BJ Penn, you know, probably the most talented guy in the game, but doesn't like to train. I think it came too easy.